Okay. All right. Start the meeting, call the meeting to order. Anybody want to read the district's mission statement tonight?
I can. Our
Great.
district will empower learning, energize achievement, and enhance community excellence without excuse.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. Are there any additional items for the agenda? Okay. If not, do we have an approval of the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
That's Kelly Heitkamp. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I think that was Kendra, right?
It was, yep.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right. Any additional discussion? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
It has to be a roll call. Wendy, if you want to go ahead and do roll call.
Yep, roll call. Size,
Yes.
Heitkamp,
Yes.
Johnson,
You got me?
Johnson.
Mute?
Yes, sorry, I couldn't get it up.
That's it. Hain,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Elke, and Cahill.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes 7-0. All right, recognition of visitors and open forum. We have our student representatives on. So thank you for joining us. I did not get any emails, so I don't think we have any comments to read off there. So we'll move into the reports and presentations. Let's see, do we want to just go down the list here? I'll just go whoever's, Danny, you're first. So if you want to give any updates.
Well, the expectations from different teachers are kind of different right now. Some people like to give a lot of homework thinking you'll understand it and everything, and other teachers don't give you as much homework so you have more time to understand it. So it's a little different for each class, but it works out.
And have you, on those that where it might be a little harder to understand, are you able to get a hold of those teachers and they can explain stuff to you if you have additional questions?
Yeah, once you email them, they email back right away. And also my friends help me with my homework if I don't understand it. They usually do. So.
Okay. So all in all, how do you feel about this online learning?
It's better than nothing.
Yeah, true. Good point. Anybody have any questions for Danny? Or maybe we can ask questions of all of you at the end. Erin, do you have any updates that you want to give?
Well, I know that like as far as distance learning has been going, that teachers have been doing really well, like as far as just working hard and making sure everything is like posted on Classroom. But then like for, as the most, well, like the thing that I've struggled with the most is adjusting. Like it's been hard to, make a schedule of, oh, you got to, log in at this time and make sure it's done by 3 p.m. And just adjusting to all online homework has been a little difficult. But otherwise, I think it's been very good.
Okay. And all in all, you feel like the teachers are responding to any questions that you have and doing a good job?
Yeah, the teachers are really good at responding to emails, and they've been really helpful when you ask.
Good. Maddie.
Well, we had our first virtual FFA meeting last week, and that went pretty well. We played a Kahoot. Someone shared their screen, and then everyone could answer the questions off of someone's computer, so that was really good. But other than that, distance learning has been pretty good. Like Erin said, it's kind of hard to get a schedule of when you're supposed to check in and all that stuff, but overall, it's pretty good. The seniors are getting kind of antsy. about graduation and prom and stuff like that. But other than that, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that was my question for you is how does this make you feel as a senior?
Yeah, some people are kind of sad about it, but other people they're just going with it because they can't really control the situation. So whatever happens, happens.
What a great attitude.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for any of our students? Okay. If not, thank you all for joining. You're more than welcome to stay on if you want. But thank you for joining and good luck to all of you the rest of the season, especially you, Maddie, as a senior. I know this has got to be tough for all seniors right now. So hang in there. It will get better. But we wish you all the best. All right. Kurt, superintendent report.
Thank you. Just a couple follow-up comments to our student representatives. That I think they hit the nose on the head that our staff is working extremely hard, and actually we have to just ensure that they are taking time for themselves and doing their own self-care. I think is one of the things that we've learned, because they're answering emails at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. So we do need to continue to work with them. And as I think Danielle hit it on the nose the first when she had talked, that I think we are still trying to figure out this balance of expectations for homework or for work outside of class. And I know there's been some conversations between students or parents and teachers, and still trying to figure this out, just because we're just new to this in the third week of it. And if you heard Governor Walz's press conference today, he did allude to a decision on schools for the remainder of the year coming at some point this week, is what he talked about in his press conference today. A couple other things that I want to highlight. Our food service continues to add students to their meal program. So we are now over 410 students, just gained 10 more this week, which is roughly 68%, somewhere in there, of the students in our lunch program still getting lunches or meals, I should say, breakfast and lunch during the shutdown. Community education, average about 15 students a day, and still doing a great job serving the children of emergency and healthcare workers. And the last thing that I want to do just talk about, again, our administrative team continues to work through the budget for fiscal year 21. So we'll have a finance committee meeting probably within a week or two to bring those people together and give you some preliminary numbers and look for some direction, guidance on where to go. So I will entertain any questions if any board member has one.
Kurt, when it comes to the food service and trying to extend this through the summer, how are we coming along when it comes to? I've seen you sent out the email out to everyone when it comes to the free and reduced percentage. Is it increasing? Are we getting close to that?
We have gotten 5 families to return the forms, and Wendy is in the process of getting those entered. I will say, though, when I looked into it last week, the MDE didn't come out with new guidance. I'll say that because it shares in different places. But the guidance is that if we go to distance learning to the end of the school year, that our waiver would actually go to the end of June. So our free breakfast and lunch program, our families could take advantage of no matter what till the end of June. We just have to meet that 50% threshold, hopefully at a later time. They're still looking at the date, actually, because the date to qualify, they said, was mid-February. But when I talked to MDE, they said that's a state decision, so they might be relooking at it. So to answer your question, we have forms back. We have to increase it. We were at about 26, 27%. We have to get up to 50%. So we have to double our numbers. So we'll see. As long as families know it's there and it's an option, I think no matter what, if they meet it now or they reapply in the fall, I think we'll be better off in the long run.
Hey, Kurt, did I see somewhere that went from 50% down to 30% eligible would qualify for summer food or not?
I have not seen that.
Kurt, the other question I do have is I hear that some private schools are going, and I don't know if we're having the same issue at JWP or all the public schools, and I don't think Tim Walz, the Governor Walz, has even mentioned this, but I hear some of the public schools are going to 4-day school weeks and given a day for the staff to prep for that week. Has there been any discussion for that, or is there even a need? Does it seem like things are going so smooth we don't need that? The staff doesn't need the day prep, that everything's going well?
Another great question. I think with us I guess we're starting the fourth week. That is definitely an option. Yeah, and I do know other schools have done some things, whether it's short term or whether it's the entire time, that it is an option. I think I know Jeremy's meeting with his entire staff this week one-on-one, and Grant's checking in with his staff, and we'll continue just to listen and see what their needs are and adjust accordingly. But that is an option I know some schools are doing.
Okay. Do
Thank
we
you.
have any other questions? All right. If not, we'll go on to the enrollment update.
As you can see, we're staying relatively steady, and in a couple grades just gained by one or so. So otherwise, I'll let the numbers speak for themselves unless you have any questions.
Okay. No questions. Do we have an approval of the consent agenda?
Make a motion to present. I make a motion to approve under a consent agenda as presented.
It's Kelly Heitkamp. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, that's Tim Johnson. I suppose now we do the roll call. So Wendy, if you want to take over.
Sure. Johnson,
Yes.
Hayne,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Elke. Cahill,
Yes.
Size,
Yes.
Heitkamp.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes 7-0. On to old business. Approve the fiscal year 21 budget assumptions. Kurt, do you have any discussions before we move to approve this?
No, I think the board has seen this document before, and we have talked about this at our finance committee. Matt and I have spent a lot of time, actually, and even this past 2 weeks, just on our enrollment projection, because that's, of course, what drives most revenue. And we at last talked with the finance committee about 6:35, and after a little bit more discussion, we would be more comfortable at a budget or enrollment projection of 640 is what we are proposing.
Okay. Anybody have any other questions or discussions? If not, do we have a motion to approve the fiscal year 21 budget assumptions?
I'll make a motion to approve fiscal year 21 budget assumption.
Tim Johnson, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
And that's Kelly Heitkamp. Okay. Wendy, if you want to.
Sure. Burke,
Yes.
Elke. Cahill,
Yes.
Size,
Yes.
Heitkamp,
Yay.
Johnson,
Yes.
Kane.
Yes.
Should have been counting. Is that everybody? Okay. All right. Motion passes 7-0. On to new business. We have the approval of the Gopher Conference letter. Do we have any further discussion on this before we go to a motion?
I will make the point that this is just applying for their conference. I believe their next conference meeting is May 4th, at which point they are anticipating a vote. And then if we are accepted, technically that'll be board approval. So you'd see another agenda item at our May meeting with official resolution moving to the conference and discontinuing our conference affiliation with Valley if we're accepted.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Do we have a motion to approve the Gopher Conference letter?
I will make a motion to approve the Gopher Conference letter.
That's Tim Johnson. Do we have a second?
I'll second it. No,
Yeah.
let Tim Burke second it.
Pardon?
Let Tim Burke second it.
Oh, sorry. Did I get that wrong? Okay. So that was Tim Johnson and Tim Burke.
Sure.
Right. Wendy, would you do the roll call then?
Cahill,
Yes.
Size,
Yes.
Heitkamp,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Yes.
Elke.
Did you get that, Wendy? I know, Tim Elke, you're a little vague it's hard to hear you. I think that was a yes. Okay.
That's everybody.
Is that what you got, Wendy? That's what you heard?
Yep.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. All right. So motion passes 7-0. All right. To the next one. Approve the non-renewal of Caitlin Davis as special education teacher. Bert, do you want to speak to that at all, or do we have any discussion?
I do not have anything to add.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, do we have a motion to approve the non-renewal of Caitlin Davis as special education teacher?
I make a motion to, for the approval of non-renewal for Caitlin Davis.
That's Kelly Heitkamp. Do we have a second? I think that was Tim Elke. All right. Do you want to do the roll call again, Wendy?
Heitkamp,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Yes.
Elke.
Yeah.
Cahill,
Yes.
Size.
Yes.
That's all.
All right. Motion passes 7-0. On to the next one. Approve the Palmer Bus Service Addendum 2 and MOU. Do we have any discussion on this?
I guess I can make some highlights. Some of you know Tom Watson, who has been negotiating with transportation services on the district's behalf, probably the past, I don't know, Kelly would know, 6 10 years. So he's been heavily involved in this negotiation, not just with us in Palmer, but many districts in Palmer. So the addendum does a couple things. First one extends our contract with Palmer. Next year being at 2% increase, and the following year being at the max of 2%, but it will be adjusted to the percent that the state gives us in basic revenue on the formula, which could be 0% with the budget forecasts that are now happening. So that's the first part, extends the contract. And a couple caveats that they would say is that if we go below 165 days, and we're going to come back to the table because that's the state statute of schools need to be in session 165 days. And the flex days, the other provision that we worked out with them is that the flex days, where there's no transportation, they still have cost. It was 50% of the regular routes, and like it says in the contract, it's in your addendum that it's an additional 50% on in-district special education AM and PM routes because we still get reimbursed for those. So that's the first part, contract extension. And the second one deals with this distance learning. And I think it's important for our community to know that that the first part of the MOU is exactly what the governor said, that they're going to continue to pay their hourly employees, and which most of them live in our community. And so that was first and foremost, that they're going to get paid. And then we're getting some money taken off for gas, and they're doing food service delivery and emergency care worker, children care, transportation services for free. So there's some other things built into the MOU, but that's the nuts and bolts of it. And I can entertain questions if people have any.
Kurt, I'd just say that, Tom, he's done a great job for us as a school district. And, looking at the front of it, it may look a little like, maybe this isn't the best deal, but I think he's negotiated a pretty fair deal for us. And then maybe in a couple years, we can look at this and reevaluate and everything else. So I think he has a good grasp of when it comes to state funding, how Palmer looks at things and everything else. And so it may not be the best thing for the school district, all around, but I think it's the best we can do at this point in time. And maybe down the road we can look at it. But I think it's a fair agreement if you were to talk to Tom. So that's my opinion. So.
Do we have any other questions or comments? If not, do we have a motion to approve the Palmer Bus Service Addendum 2 and MOU?
I'll make a motion to approve.
That's Tim Elke. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
That's Kendra Hain. Wendy, if you want to take over?
Sure. Hain,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Elke.
Yeah.
Cahill.
Yes.
Size.
Yes.
Heitkamp.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
All right. Motion passes 7-0. Next, we just have the list of our upcoming meetings. May 4th is the study session, followed by Buildings and Grounds meeting. May 18th is the Finance Committee meeting, and along with our regular meeting afterwards.
Laura, if you don't mind if I jump in, we already have resolution for accepting donations.
Oh, did I miss that? Where'd it go? Oh, sorry. I was moving it up.
Nope.
My bad. Okay, so yes, we have the donations, and I should have known better because one of them was from the Rotary. Donations are the Meadow Township is the donor for $100 to community ed expenses, and the James Rotary Club $2,000 to the backpack program. So do we have a motion to accept those donations with many thanks?
I'll make a motion to accept all those donations.
That's Tim Johnson. Do we have a second?
A second.
That's Tim Burke. Wendy, you want to do the roll call?
Elke,
yes,
Cahill,
Yes.
Size,
Yes.
Heitkamp,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Kane,
You unmute, Kendra?
do you have Kendra?
Oh, yep. Yes.
Thank you. Burke,
Yes.
thank you.
All right. Motion passes 7-0. Apologize for missing that one. All right. So we went through the meetings. Anything else, Kurt?
No, like I said, I know we have a finance committee scheduled for May 18th. It might be sooner to get a preliminary look at the budget so we can continue moving forward. So that's the only thing for upcoming meetings.
Okay. I guess the meeting is adjourned at 6:26 p.m. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.